as expensive as you'd think.
It's just more cleaner.
I mean, expensive, sure, but overtly expensive, probably not.
So they go to Cabrini Green, and yes, 2 girls will get catcalled at places like that.
Yes,
and they do.
Uh-huh.
I do like
by gang members. We found out.
Actual.
Yeah.
I do like it's just like, well, we look like cops. Like,
no, you don't.
It's not because you're ladies. It's because you're just cops don't wear.
Yeah, they don't
pumps and fur coats and.
No, you're getting catcalled because you don't belong, lady. Yeah. They sweet on you.
And they hammer home.
I don't know why I'm going southern. No, it really has nothing to do with this.
They hammer home the whole white lady in the projects thing a couple times. They ring that bell a couple times.
Well, I mean, this is all about race. A lot of this is really, like, this movie is a lot about race.
In the 90s,
which is, I mean, well, literally, as I found out, is this movie was produced and released right during the Rodney King riots.
Ooh.
A little bit topical.
So they're exploring.
They were actually very afraid that this movie might get into a lot of trouble, being seen as racist.
You gotta say, that's a.
They had to think about it, right?
Razor thin line
to
walk.
As it turns out, it actually the exact opposite happened. Apparently, the black community who saw this was just like, "Fuck yeah, we got our own horror villain." So they actually championed the shit out of Candyman, which is kind of awesome.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate the sequels are worse.
They're exploring Cabrini Green.
Mm-hmm.
She runs into a fucking massive painting of Candyman with his mouth agape.
Yeah, but of course...
and candy with razor blades in it.
Mm-hmm. But of course, she's taking pictures of everything because, again, it's part of the thesis. You have to have proof. And of course, her camera fucking runs out of film right when she sees the giant picture, so she has an excuse to come back.
This is the only time actual candy is mentioned in the entire film.
Yeah, which is strange because in the book, the reason he's called Candyman is... Okay, so the whole point of the book and the way they do it is the urban legend actually is a major factor and is actually what's keeping everything going. Like, they love Candyman in the project in the book. Like, they look at him as... Because the whole idea around it is, if Candyman gets you or has something to do with you, you become infamous because you become a part of the urban legend. So people actually want to be a tribute to Candyman. So they constantly give him candy because they want to entice him to come to them. So it's a very different thing. So which, again, like you said...
Does not come across at all.
There's not at all. Because, honestly... The similarities between the book and this movie end pretty fast. It's not the same story, pretty much from here forward. Much like They Live, it's almost like premise is the same, everything else is different.
They run into Anne-Marie McCoy, kind of going like, "Hey, you shouldn't be here, and why are you in that lady's apartment? She died. What are you, cops?" Again,
yeah. It's like, apparently you people have never seen cops before. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. And they friend her eventually, and she got a big dog, and there's another jump scare.
Yeah, and she's just sort of like, "I'm sorry for being uppity, but, people died. You shouldn't be here. There's problems."
Yeah.
But,
But you seem cool, I guess, with your picture taking.
Randomly, you seem fine now. I'm not quite sure what it is that changed your mind, other than friendly. Yeah. I don't know.
So they're at dinner with a colleague.
Well, actually, major point, she's got a kid.
Yeah.
She's trying to, take care of Anthony, little baby. She's trying to take care of him, get him out of the projects like you do. Everything like that. Very important for later on.
Very. Smoking at dinner. They're at dinner in this fancy place, and they're just lighting up. Welcome to the 90s,
man. It was a lovely place if you were a smoker, and I was. Not 92, but... I was one of the people who got to reap the benefits of being able to smoke in an establishment.
That's a really fancy place. I'm sure it smells horrible.
Well, dude, in all fairness, they were smoking in the university, too, which I'm like, I don't care how fucking 90s this is. There's no way in hell that was allowed. So, they just needed to establish that this lady smokes.
So they're at a dinner with Professor Purcell, who's in the beginning of the sequel.
I guess. I don't know. I haven't seen the sequel.
I think he gets ganked at the beginning.
That's not true. I did see the sequel. I just choose to forget.
So she's straight up like, I'm going to bury you.
Yeah.
Because this guy, I guess, is like the...
he's
the guy.
He already did it. He did it. He's like, what? You're doing the Candyman? I did that a decade ago. Well, and he's British, of course, because if you're pompous, you got to be British. She's just like, I did this 10 years ago. What are you going to bring to it? And she's like, you'll fucking find out, motherfucker. That word for word. People talk like I do, and I should never write movies, is what I'm saying.
Like, she is like...
She's just like, I'm going to bury you, everything,
Because I went to Cabrini Green.
And I'm like, and I'm pretty sure he was just like, yeah, so did I. It was almost like what are you going to tell me?
And then she doesn't even know the legend.
No.
And then he's like, you don't even know the story, let alone... So she tells the story, Candyman legend, 1890.
Yeah. He was the son of a slave who got kind of rich because he developed a quick way to make shoes. Yeah. And so Candyman himself, can't remember his name, it's actually written down somewhere, but I don't remember, fell in love with a white woman, which comes into play heavily in the movie. And they don't like that.
Not in 1890.
No. And they overreact more than I've ever heard anyone overreacting ever. So they basically myrtleize him a lot. Mm-hmm. They literally rub, like, honey or something on him and unleash bees on the dude. That's overkill, man.
And then chop his hand off.
Yeah.
So
for a white woman.
That's... But I'm just saying, you killed the guy, whatever, that's fucking why, mm-hmm. But on top of it, and we chop your hand off, so fuck
we chop your hand off, we slather you with bees so that you die of bee stings because we couldn't, a bullet would be too good for you. I don't know, man, that seems like a lot.
And in this movie, a lot, mm-hmm. not just Virginia Madison, but a lot of characters, there's a lot of face framing in this movie.
Yeah,
the screen go dark except for, a ray of light. Yeah. Along the eyes.
Well, I mean, in the shots with Virginia Madsen, it makes sense because, again, like I said, she was hypnotized. They wanted to get that effect. But yeah, there's a lot of these uber close-ups on people's faces, and it's like, I think that's what you meant for scary. And I mean, when they're telling this story, clearly it's because they didn't have the money to cut to a shot of it, because, in most movies, they would cut to that.
Yeah, they just hear of sounds in the background of screaming.
Because clearly they don't have the money to show any of this stuff. And also, they were fighting against the NC-17, so even if they did shoot it, they probably couldn't show it. Because they fought with the MPAA on this movie a lot. So, mm-hmm. It's one of those things where you're just sort of like, okay, well, this is what we're going to get, is the close-up of this dude's face, and,
So,
all right.
Helen goes back to take pictures of that painting. Mm-hmm. She runs into Jake, the local boy that's mm-hmm. from Cabrini Green, and he kind of just takes her around. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, can you show me? Well, he becomes a de facto tour guide.
Yeah, he really does, but she does it in a very clever way of just like, he's just like, well, I'm not afraid of anything, and she's just like, well, can you show me around? No. She's like, well, I guess it's because you're too scared. Like, she tricks him into
What are you, a chicken?
Yeah. And then he just sort of gets up and goes, all right, bitch.
I ain't chicken.
Yeah.
Shows for the bonfire that they're going to have. Mm-hmm. Look, over there, yonder. Mm-hmm. Foreshadowing.
Yeah. It's kind of foreshadowing. Like, there's a bonfire happening. This way, again, the bonfire in the book is happening the next day, not, like, several months later.
Yeah.
Because this movie does take place over the course of a couple months.
It's a time jump.
Yeah. And I'm like, why would you set up the bonfire for, 2 months from now? That seems weird.
So she shows him, he shows her, mm-hmm. A really run-down, dilapidated bathroom.
Yeah.
And it tells the story of this kid.
That goes in.
Gets attacked by Candyman.
Yeah, a special needs child goes in because his mother's at the store across the street, which we never see. I'm like, I don't think there's a store here, but okay, let's say there is. Again, book did it, so we don't have to. So the mother's over there shopping, and the boy's got to go to the bathroom, so she sends him over to go to the bathroom. And while he's in there, all she hears is screaming. So she runs out, tries to go to that, but everybody stops her. The brave dude, as they say, just goes running in, and he comes out shaking, and his hair's white, because basically the boy has his junk cut off, and it's floating in the toilet.
And they're very... they're not curt about it. They kind of pussyfoot around, going like, well, they show the kid holding the area.
Yeah.
They say it was in the toilet.
Yeah. They don't show it in the toilet. They may have originally, but they had to cut it clearly if they did. But yeah, it's a very, actually, kind of disturbing scene. I give them credit for that, because they did a really good job of, like, basically the kid's lying there, holding himself, blood everywhere, screaming, "Mommy, mommy," which is, that's good on them for some decent horror there.
So after hearing that,
yes,
she goes right in.
Because that's what you do.
And it smells horrible.
Well, that's because they've got shit everywhere.
Yeah.
The phrase of the day in this movie, "sweets to the sweet," which is a quote from Hamlet, is written in shit.
Hey.
Classy.
Yeah. So she's taking pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
Yep. It smells bad.
Gang goes in.
Yep. Because, well, basically what happens is, so the kid's standing there waiting, and then a dude in a black coat, like you only see from the waist down, his perspective, basically.
You're thinking it's Candyman.
Yeah, and he looks up and goes, "Candyman." And then clearly the gang members walk in, and then dude in the coat pimps in, and they don't really say anything, and she just goes, "Hi, fellas, sorry. I'll be on my way now, for the love of fucking God. You're all big and scary, so I'm gonna leave now."
And then hook.
Well, it starts out, she gets grabbed by one of them. And she's like, "People know I'm here." No, they don't. It's like, "I need to get the hell out of here, just let me go." And then hook. And one of the greatest lines that I wish we could have found for this, but we couldn't, it's just, she looks and goes, like, "Don't hurt me," whatever, and he just goes, "Candyman, bitch."
I heard you looking for the Candyman, bitch. And then
whack
right upside the head. And then she's down.
Yeah.
Cut to her in the police station.
Well, no, the boy runs in.
Yeah.
She's on the ground, blood everywhere. And then you cut to the police station.
And she's got this
just
nasty
fucking eyes swollen shut, like, literally, like, "Cut me, Mick."
Yeah.
Like, eyes swollen shut.
Like, she just did 12 rounds with Apollo.
Yeah, she got fucked up.
And the cops are like, and then they do the whole, step forward, say the line.
"Candyman, bitch." "Candyman, bitch." And then, she says.
And then they find the guy, it's like number 5.
Mm-hmm.
And they, and this is where race comes in again.
Yeah.
It's just like 2 people died in this neighborhood and the cops never came. One white lady gets attacked.
Yeah,
and they close the streets down and they raid the building.
Exactly, and Helen even says that immediately. Yeah. She's just like, one white girl gets attacked and then they get it down. And, like, the cop is even like, "We've been trying, but nobody will testify."
No.
That's where they try to subvert the racism of, like, we can't, but no one will testify because they all have to live there.
No.
That's a surefire way to die. So
if an outsider comes in and goes, "Yeah, that guy, he totally attacked me."
Because she doesn't have to go back, right?
You would think.
Yeah.
So she's back at university. This is, I guess, a couple weeks, months.
Yeah, it's about a month or so later, because that don't clear up in a week.
Yeah, so she's healed up.
Yeah. Mostly. Like, it's basically a little black. That's it.
Jake's mad because you said you weren't going to tell anybody. He's like, "Listen, I had to. But the Candyman's not real. That was a fake Candyman. He's just a story."
Yeah, he's just a story. That's the guy. We got him. You can go back. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to go to court or nothing. You're safe. You're good.
She's on her way to her car. Mm-hmm. Then the real Candyman shows up, and he's not happy.
No.
"You deny my existence," and...
"Hello, Ellen."
Oh, Tony Todd.
Only the voice that Tony Todd can muster.
"You bad motherfucker."
And that coat makes him look so badass. I'm like, dude, that is awesome.
And then he's just like, "Well, innocent blood has to be spilled." And this is where she's like, "Yeah."
Yeah, so she's all hypnotized and shit, and it's the first time you see it. And yeah, that's messed up when you know the story.
Boom! Yeah. She goes to sleep. She wakes up, pool of blood in somebody's bathroom.
She's checking herself and shit, and they're screaming everywhere.
Screaming.
And she's like checking herself. She's fine. She goes into the next room, and she's in Anne Marie's place. Dog is
beheaded.
Decapitated. And for some reason, I'll never figure out ever.
My mind was boggled.
Virginia Madsen picks up the knife. Because reasons, and then runs into the room where the screaming is, I guess to help?
I'm here to save the day!
Yeah, because,
have at thee!
Tiny white woman is really who I'm afraid of in these situations. So, and then, of course, what you literally see is blood still everywhere, including the playpen where Anthony's supposed to be.
Well, you think the baby's dead at first.
Yeah, because there's blood everywhere in the playpen, so she's freaking the fuck out, Anne-Marie, as you would expect, fucking just immediately just lunges for Helen, knife be damned, and just starts fucking slamming her head against the ground, like, where is he? She's just like, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
And then
she cuts her arm with the knife.